The latest on the missed deadline to fix this water treatment facility.
These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves.
A San Diego doctor among those arrested in connection with actor Matthew Perry's death.
This old car wash in City Heights is full of trash, graffiti, and encampments. It's been vacant for 6 months, but now a new business is moving in. We'll tell you who that is.
One-on-one with the superintendent of the Sweetwater Union High School District. We talked about all kinds of hot-button issues, including the use of cell phones in schools.
On the spectrum and on the job, the SeaWorld photographer making a big splash.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now.
If Mexico doesn't do anything about it, what can we do to kind of better protect ourselves?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
We begin tonight with irritation from officials at the International Boundary and Water Commission over a missed deadline in ongoing efforts to end the sewage crisis along our border. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Kirsten Holmes. In tonight for Marcella Lee. The binational agency was supposed to bring a broken wastewater treatment system into compliance with federal water quality standards by today. But I talked with leaders at the IBWC about the problem and a South Bay mayor about what she says could fix it.
We just can't meet that. We have technical problems here, unforeseens. We have sediment coming into the plant that gets into our equipment and put us behind schedule. We're going as fast as we can.
Morgan Rogers is the area operations manager for the International Boundary and Water Commission. They're responsible for the South Bay plant that's supposed to make sure water in and around our border communities is clean and safe. Right now, it's not.
There are basically two problems. One is the plant, getting the plant into compliance, and the other problem are the flows coming from Mexico. So in the summer right now, we shouldn't have any flows in the river. This is the dry season, and yet we have 45 million gallons per day of flow coming down the river, which empties out on our beaches.
Rogers says the flow from Mexico must be stopped by Mexican authorities, and right now, only one of the tanks needed to help is working. A second tank should be online today, hopefully.
We have 5 tanks. 3 are required at all times to be in operation. So we're really looking at, when we get 3 online, we should be on the way to the water quality to meet the permit compliance.
This is my first time being on the campus of the water treatment facility, and that smell that neighbors have been complaining about for years, it's really strong right now.
That is the source of the odors that everyone is experiencing in this Imperial Beach, Chula Vista, and beyond.
Rogers is talking about this flow in the Tijuana River Valley. CBS 8 talked to the Coastal Environmental Rights Foundation and the San Diego Coastkeepers back in April when they filed a lawsuit against the federal government to get this cleaned up. Rogers says it's the federal government's responsibility to make sure this plant has enough money to operate. But first, there's so much that needs to be fixed.
The plant in the IBWC has been neglected as far as funding for years. So between 2010 and 2020, we only spent $4 million on capital projects at this plant. We should be spending that probably every year.
Paloma Aguirre, mayor of the city of Imperial Beach, says it's time to enforce compliance through fines and other means.
My hope is that the federal government reads this as a very clear sign that this is not just, the status quo of some bodies of water getting polluted. This is a life-threatening situation that our communities have been harmed by for a long time.
5 people, including a San Diego doctor, are facing charges tonight in connection with actor Matthew Perry's death. Perry, who is known for his longtime role on the hit show Friends, died last October. An autopsy revealed he had ketamine in his system.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy has details, including what we're learning about the San Diego man charged in the case.
The U.S. Attorney's Office made the announcement today. They are charging 5 people in Perry's death. They include 2 doctors, Perry's live-in personal assistant, and a person referred to as the ketamine queen. The local doctor involved is 54-year-old Dr. Mark Chavez. Court documents show he often supplied ketamine to Perry's inner circle, which was a factor in his death.
These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyways. In the end, these defendants were more interested in profiting off Mr. Perry than caring for his well-being.
That was U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada. According to court documents, Chavez and another doctor who was charged applied and were given authorization from the DEA to, quote, dispense, administer, and prescribe narcotics and other controlled substances so long as prescriptions were for a legitimate medical purpose. Ketamine is an anesthetic used medically for anesthesia. It's also used as a treatment for depression and pain management. Federal officials say in the fall of 2023, Perry was struggling with addiction issues and had an interest in ketamine he thought would help. That's when investigators say a doctor based in Santa Monica who knew Perry reached out to Chavez, who had previously operated a ketamine clinic. He texted Chavez, "I wonder how much this moron will pay." In turn, Chavez sold that doctor ketamine that he got through writing fraudulent prescriptions and then lied to wholesale ketamine distributors to get more.
This investigation focused on who supplied the ketamine to Mr. Perry. Over 2 months, from September to October 2023, they distributed approximately 20 vials of ketamine to Mr. Perry in exchange for $55,000 in cash.
Chavez is not the main defendant in this case. As part of a plea deal, he has agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine. He has not been sentenced yet. It's unclear if he has worked for any of our local clinics or hospitals. Now, we did find his bio on thehealthmd.com. It says he moved to San Diego in 1998 from New Mexico to work as a medicinal chemist for a startup biotech company. Back to you.
Thanks, Shannon. City crews are out clearing encampments in Vista today, just days after the city council there voted to start enforcing a dormant ban. Enforcement was paused during the pandemic. Mayor John Franklin was out alongside sheriff's deputies today. One group was told to clear their belongings and given a warning. The mayor says a majority of unhoused people in the city of Vista have refused the help offered to them.
I don't want to jail people for living on the street, but when people are living in an encampment and have been asked 20 separate times to come to the shelter and to get off the streets and they still refuse, jail has to be a last and worst option.
Homeless advocates say arrests and encampment bans are not going to solve the problem. Meantime, the Sheriff's Department tells us each situation will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis, adding they won't be arresting anyone for violating the camping ban.
Representative Mike Levin was in Encinitas today. He's announcing a change in federal policy that's set to give more housing assistance to U.S. veterans. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, will end the agency's old policy of counting a veteran's disability benefits as income for the purposes of rental assistance. The changes are expected to help thousands of low-income veterans and those experiencing homelessness to become eligible for housing vouchers. And one company is building sustainable tiny homes as a way to address the housing crisis. Today, CBS 8 got a tour of one home built by the company Live Tiny. You're taking a look at it right now. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath home that costs $65,000. You can pay extra for features like off-the-grid capabilities, meaning it does not require electric, gas, or sewer hookup. The CEO of Live Tiny says these homes last longer than traditional mobile homes and can be moved using just a pickup truck.
New tonight, this abandoned car wash on University Avenue has become a magnet for crime and graffiti, and nearby business owners say they are paying the price.
CBS 8's Brian White is in City Heights working for you to find out what's being done about it.
Piles of trash and dilapidated equipment, that's what's left of the old car wash here.
Honestly, it looks like a dump. It looks really dirty. It smells like urine.
It's been fenced in and there's graffiti everywhere.
It's been turned into a homeless encampment for the most part. They're trespassing on there and nobody really does anything about it.
Local business owners tell me transients have made living quarters inside these buildings.
They usually come out, they sleep in there, they come out like between 4 to 6, bro.
I saw 2 guys leaving through this hole in the fence. A tattoo shop owner nearby who didn't want to go on camera voiced his frustrations.
It's not good. They're trying to clean this place up and then they're going backwards.
The property's been vacant for about 6 months, and according to the owner of a nearby dog grooming business, it's been bad for the neighborhood.
You get a lot more people walking by, yelling, and it just gives us a better picture for our business. And we just have a bunch of people sometimes, that I really saw this shit in, there's people consuming drugs around the corner.
Complaints about all this have been filed with the city of San Diego, so I checked in with code enforcement. They told me it'll likely be inspected within the next 5 days. And records obtained by CBS 8 show the property's owner entered into a lease agreement with Soapy Joe's back in February. So I reached out to them about their plans here. The chief operating officer, Isaac Lee, said, quote, "We are excited to bring value to the community through jobs and engagement at this new location. We're in the final stages of permitting and anticipate breaking ground by the end of this year," end quote. Soapy Joe's operates 24 locations across the county with several more on the way. Meanwhile, business owners here near the 805 hope the new business moving in will help transform the area.
I really hope they keep it clean. I've been to all their locations and they've always had a good place. It's always been clean. So I really hope they bring that over here too.
Working for you in City Heights, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thank you, Brian. And remember, if there is something that you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
Well, it is back to school for some San Diego students. We'll show you still ahead.
Plus, earlier this week, we showed you homes in Rancho Penasquitos dealing with strange flooding. Tonight, some of their neighbors say it's happening to them too. We're working for you to get to the bottom of this mystery.
And we're tracking Hurricane Ernesto as it gets ready to deliver a powerful punch to Bermuda.
You're seeing lots of sunshine in the forecast, but that marine layer is offshore, ready to pounce as we go into the late night hours. We'll go ahead and take a look at what you can expect in your forecast into the weekend coming up.